We're building a doghouse. Two, actually. Two of the same one. I got 64 pieces of wood here. Kind of going with the cheapest option available. So I got these 8-foot dog-eared fence posts instead of 1x6s, because I don't know if I was just having bad luck finding anything, but these were like $2 a piece, and the proper 1x6s were $12 a piece. So I'm just gonna have to spend a lot of time sanding these things down and make sure to seal it up really good. But yeah, we'll start getting to it. Anyway, they're gonna be decent sized dog houses. I'm making sure it's big enough so that when this guy grows up, he'll still fit, and the other dog's pretty much, you know, full grown at full size at this point. So I think it'll be a fairly fun project. I mean, right now all I'm doing is I made my cut lists, and I'm just marking every single piece ahead of time, and then we'll get to cutting and go from there. So this is how I like to mark when I'm doing a lot of cuts like this. I mark each piece with how big it is as well, but I also have a little code for each piece, almost like you're assembling, you know, some IKEA thing. So all the back pieces are marked with a B and then a number, front pieces with an F, the roof pieces with an R, R1, R2, R3, etc. So I just scribble them all on there. And that way, once I'm making all my cuts, I can kind of throw them into the appropriate piles. And, I mean, obviously that's going to all come off when I sand it. But at least that way I have my piles ahead of time and can just, you know, build it one layer at a time. Not sure if I'm going to just take you through the process of building one and then I go build the other. I feel like it would be easier for me to just build, you know, the floor for both and then the sides for both, but maybe I'll just film one. Don't need to, hey, stop chewing my wood. Yeah, you. Anyway, I don't think you want to double the length of the video by watching me do everything twice, so. I got this wood, I did not pick it out. I placed a pickup order, which was, I mean, it's Home Depot. You're not going to get good wood anyway, but they seem to go out of the way to pick the worst of the worst when you do a pickup order, because they know, you know, that no one else is going to buy that shit. So it's going to be a lot of work to make this nice and solid, but I think when everything's said and done, and I think it's going to be pretty well built and as nice looking as I could possibly get it. I think the first 2x4s I got, they're kind of way down there. You can't see it right now, but the bow in it was like unbelievable. All right, we're just doing our initial cuts now. This is, you know, nothing. We still got a whole bunch more to go, but we're gonna go through all these, and once everything's pre-cut, then we can get to an insane amount of sanding.
All right, so just a little bit about this doghouse project overall. Neither of my dogs, the younger one's only a few months, so not much experience there, but our older dog has never liked doghouses. Hated cage training, hated doghouses, hated all of that. But we live in an area with a lot more rain now and a lot colder winters, and I wanted to at least give him the option. So I was looking around online, and most of them, I won't buy those cheap Amazon ones with the wood that I don't even understand where they get this wood. You order a sandbox or a kid's playset or something, and you're holding a piece of wood that you're familiar with the size of it, and it weighs probably 10% of what it should weigh. It's not exactly particle board or something. I'm not talking about that. Obviously, I know what particle board is, but it's just super, super lightweight wood. I know the stuff all comes from China. I don't know how the wood is so flimsy and light, though. I've never understood that. So I won't order one of those. So I'm looking at just decent enough. I don't want to spend a lot of money. But even not wanting to spend a lot of money, I think once I got the right size for them, because they're fairly big dogs, it came to something like $480 each. And I could get all this wood for $250 total. So I decided that's kind of what made me decide to want to do this project in the first place. Not a real fast project, to be honest. I have very little time in between to work on this stuff, so you'll probably see in a lot of these cuts you'll see a bunch in a row, and then all of a sudden the weather will change, or not the weather, sorry, the time of day will change, the amount of light out will change. It'll get darker and then lighter, because I'm doing this over the course of several days, just all the cutting.
We're moving along. I feel like I'm maybe halfway done. I wonder where I'm gonna put I have to move this all inside at night. That sucks.
The dogs, of course, do sleep in the house, and they spend time in the house whenever they want. And I work from home, so if it started raining, I would just go outside and get them, but sometimes it's a little warmer than they like, and they I'm hoping that they'll go in the doghouse instead of, looking for shade under a porch or tree or something. Or if it starts raining a little bit and I don't get out there for 5 minutes, they just have somewhere to go. Plus, I thought it would be a fun project to build, and I'm starting to get more ideas on it as I go along. There's a little canopy over the door, and I'm thinking of putting some plants up there. Not citronella, but some of the dog-safe plants. I think lemongrass, and there's a couple others that will keep mosquitoes away during the summer, because we definitely get a fair share of those. And as well as I ordered a few new metal dog bowls that have a rim right around the top instead of being flush, and I'm going to drill holes in the deck, and so that they can sink into it, because especially the puppy, but even the big guy, they get so wild and excited about every feeding, every bowl of water nonstop. They knock their bowls over and roll them around. They eat the food first, but then they knock the bowls over and roll them around the dirt. And so every time I go out there to refill their bowls with water 4 or 5 times a day, they're covered in mud and dirt, and I got to clean them out all over. Just food and water alone, and with all the cleaning and stuff, it takes up like a full hour of the day. So this is a good solution to them not being able to knock it over. They sell little metal frame things again on Amazon, and everything just is so light, so weightless that it doesn't matter. They're not tiny dogs. They're gonna knock everything over.
All right, it's getting to that point in time. It's not late yet, but people are coming home, and it's gonna be loud enough out here that someone's probably gonna complain. So I'm gonna pick back up tomorrow. Still got about 10 more boards to cut, and then we'll keep going. I don't know how much of this I'm gonna include in the final cut, but I might make it 2 videos. We'll see.
I always find it interesting the different things I like and dislike about working on projects like this. I love cutting wood, I love screwing, nailing, I love staining. I don't mind finishing. I wouldn't say I love it. Mostly I think I dislike it because it involves sanding between layers. And I really don't like sanding. I don't think anyone likes sanding, but I have to spend the entire time basically convincing myself not to just stop early.
All right. We are finally done with all the rough cuts. So we've got the deck, followed by more deck, the front sides, the back roof, the sides, and the canopy. We're gonna be building the deck part first. So I'm gonna set the miter saw table up in here so I can at night start sanding. And I promise to not include all of this sanding in the video. All right, we've got 64 boards cut into 176 actual parts here. We're gonna start with the deck and probably just do one at a time here. Probably won't film the second one as I'm doing it.
So, as far as sanding goes, I already told you how I felt about it. Now, I've had this random orbital sander for a while. I haven't yet had a need for a belt sander. I just didn't have enough individual pieces of wood in a project to go get it, but I was always looking at these really expensive ones, $250 up. But on this, I actually didn't even have this sander yet until I started doing it with the random orbital, and I just went, I want something faster, at least for those first lower grits when you're doing 80 grit, stuff like that. So I went online and went, okay, I'm not going to use it a lot, let me find one. And I got this Wen one for $40. Now, I don't generally like cheap tools, but I like this a lot. And I've used other ones before. And I don't know how, but I swear, this thing is like, for the price, it feels like it should be $100 and up. I looked around in some other videos, and I see there's some problems but these are mostly from people who use it for an hour or more a day, and even then it takes like a full year for problems to generate. You know, it doesn't have the best dust extraction. Some of the dust will get inside the inner workings and will clog up the power, and it won't turn on, and they have to open it up and clean it out and stuff like that. But for $40 to get a year out of it, I usually don't expect things that cost $40 to last me a weekend. So I was really impressed with it. I really like it, and I hope to be using it more here. Now that I have it, I'm sure I'll find reasons to use it. told me 2 of these things still won't fit. Man, that really is kind of close, man. There we go. Alright, let's try this side. Oh, at least hold it in position. Hey, get out of there. Come on, move.
All right, since I don't have any clamps that are long enough, this first set here, closest to the table, clamped just fine with the 2 clamps. Second one fell probably a dozen times. So eventually I kind of set it up here, clamped it to there to help hold it long enough for me to get that on there. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna fall any second.
Okay. Come on, Dad.
I'll show you in a sec.
Very annoying sound.
I'm not trying to make it annoying. These are bigger than I'd like, but I'll actually go ahead and put one. Alright, now I need 2 of these. Watch out, watch your fingers. one more of those to nail together.
Stop with the sound.
What sound?
That sound, dude.
Alright, that's the last one of those. Alright.
Well, you told me to come help with this, but I'm not even doing anything.
Want to do this?
Yeah. Alright, great.
Stand over here. Put that in the middle hole. Pull the trigger.
Okay.
And slowly pull it. Okay, keep going. Harder. Pull the trigger harder. Good job.
You were doing like slow. Let's do that. I'll do that. Give me the screw.
Hold on. This is not screws now. These are called flat cut nails, and these are a little different. You have to do these right.
Oh, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it.
You can do one. Clean.
Yeah.
I gotta do this one now.
I would have my shirt on
Where is what?
the camera.
It's on my phone.
There it is.
Bring it back. So, when I first started in my mind kind of putting this together, for some reason I came up with the terrible idea of sanding each board individually and then putting them on. And I started doing that till just about the halfway point, at which point I realized I could just nail them all down and then sand the whole thing, and I don't have to come up with this little jig to hold them from being shot back from the belt sander. So here's me doing it the kind of ridiculous way. So here's where I then came up with the better idea of just tossing everything on there and sanding it all as one big plane. Made a few little mistakes along the way, screwing it in. Forgot that I had offset the center bars and had to backtrack and fix that up. I think when I had originally measured this out and kind of was writing all my numbers down, I made a change at some point, because all these boards, which that were on my cut list, the length, were all off by just, I don't know, 1/4 inch on each side. Not to the point of unusable, but forgot to double check all my numbers after making some little change somewhere. I think I had made the change because I was trying to fit it in to an 8-foot board, cutting things, and I didn't want it to have to overlap by just like 1 or 2 inches on some of the cuts or something. Anyway, I forgot to make the change everywhere, and so I have like the individual slats going over about a 1/4 inch shorter on each end than I wanted. There's also a few boards, like I said, I got the stuff from Home Depot that are really cracked, and I'm gonna have to kind of put them back together, and kind of seal them together. They're not totally cracked all the way down, but there's a few parts that definitely are going to need a little bit of work there. I have this thing for the barn red color from. They only sell it at Lowe's. It's like a exclusive right to that color, or at least last I checked. I'm definitely not going to do the whole Doghouse in that color, but I don't know why. I just love that color. I planning on building a chicken coop eventually. The current that one I bought plans on, and it's looking like it's going to be quite a lot of money. But anyway, even with that, I want it to be barn red and white. This one it's going to probably just be the deck and the roof are barn red, and the whole actual house part itself I haven't quite decided. I don't want to go buy more stains, so I'll probably just use something I have, and I mostly have espresso looking woods or stains. But yeah, there's something about barn red that I've just always liked, and I keep using it over and over here. I've done a few other things in it as well, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. When I first started editing these first parts here, just the prep work and the deck, it was something like, I don't know, 2-3 hours of footage, and I knew I would never publish something that big, but I was surprised with how much it was. So I did my first whole edit down, and I got it down to 1.5 hours. I went, this is ridiculous. So edited down more and more and more and more, and I really, really tried to keep it as short as I could. But here we are, around 37 minutes, and that's I mean, I guess I could probably get it shorter, but I think I'm just going to stop at this point. I'll get started with the next parts here. I'm actually, at this time of recording, I am currently building the sides. And so I'm getting all that footage together as I build it, and I'll get the sides and back and front built and roof, and I'll probably do the sides, back, and front in one video, and then the roof in another. I don't know. I won't make it longer than 3 parts, I know that much. Well, I hope you enjoyed this so far, and I'll see you in part 2.